Right, two guys, here we are, hole 6 here, Wolf Creek. And again, we're going to try to do the exact same thing we did before, which is land very close to this point. And if you didn't see that video, do check out my first playthrough of this. But this one, we're going to try to do the exact same concept here. And I'll typically just go, which is going to be just a little bit of an overplay, is I'm just going to go the 4-7 here. It probably wouldn't require 4-7, but what that's going to do is it's going to factor in some of the lower ground that I'm pulling to, that overplay, and maybe just keeping it just a hair to the right here, which is what I'm doing. And since I'm overplaying, it should kind of almost exactly correlate to me moving to downhill target and needing to push straight up forward, which is what I'm just doing in one movement. Now, I do believe this is going to be okay, but let's just take a look and pay very close attention to where this bounces. So as you can see, that looked pretty perfect. So let's just see how far it rolls out to. Now, keep in mind, my first one was a side wind. I think I got 299. I got 299 and a straight headwind. So this landed on a much better spot. And you can see even with the wind that we had, we're still getting this up, into range for any pin location. This is probably the worst wind we could have drew. It makes for this to be a much more challenging shot. It might be better to bring Pegasus to this. And it really just comes down to ring adjustment more than anything. I would imagine I'm going to need to go at least 4 rings. It looks like I may have 4 rings here. So if I'm here, looks like we may just be in range. I would rather play this club, to be honest with you. So I'm going to keep this on. But keep in mind, with just a little bit longer drive, we would have almost taken ourselves out of range. We would have had to go Pegasus again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do something like this. Min adjustment is saying 411. That's more or less just what I'm going to go. Maybe 425. But wind effect again. So this is a very uphill approach. So we're going to try to counter this. And you can see that's maybe a bar and a half. And you can see what it's doing to the ball guide. But what's going to end up happening is these bounces. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make these bounces straight. So you can see I'm kind of on line with the hole, and you can see how it's cocked over to the left. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make this bounce straight. Now, another thing that you'll see on this wind angle is I might shift. So if this right here is true north, you're going to see that I'm going to shift to the right here, kind of change my pull angle. And the reason that I do this is because the way that this wind works is, especially when you pull to lower ground, is you're going to see the ball comes in it's not much more, but it's a couple cups worth to the right. So what I do is I still do the same ring pull, which is about 4 1/4 that I said I was going to do, maybe just a hair more, closest to a mid-ish adjustment. But what I'm doing is I'm shifting my pull angle because the ball's going to come in just a little bit more to the left. So if I pull my rings a little bit more to the right, it should correct it, and hopefully the ball lands. And let's just see how this lands. Let's just see if it lands right on line, kind of with what we were looking. And it looks like it did. And then, as I mentioned, I'm trying to get this to roll out dead straight. And as you can see, I did a good job of it, but it just didn't quite go in. But you can see we were all over that thing. Very good opportunity. It was just a last tick mark of side spin that really cost that. But you can see how good we could bring that in and got those bounces to roll out straight, even with the right point of wind. And you have to keep in mind, the more that the wind points right, the harder you have to side spin against it on uphill approaches. So do keep that in mind. I'm basically playing a vector. If I'm assuming that it's like kind of halfway in between north and east, I'm only doing half as much as I would do as full east, or maybe not even half. So maybe a little bit under half. So do keep that in mind. Good luck, and I will see you guys on the next one.